The NFL draft is a dream come true, and I don't want these guys to take it for granted.
Once you get drafted, it's go time.
They may not have a clue what to expect during their rookie season, but I'm here to help.
Football's not a hobby. At this level, it's a job.
I know what it takes to make it in the NFL, and I want to see if they do too. And train the muscle memory that I still got to get rid of it. Getting hammered in the press and on social media. Get used to it.
I didn't even know that they were filming.
Favorite coach got fired. Deal with it. Move on.
You're going to need that spirit again in the NFL, man.
Competition at your position. Just block it out and get it done.
That's a great throw, by the way.
Thank you.
They're never going to forget this, and I'm not going to let them. So here we go. This is their wake-up call.
So I just arrived here in Augusta, Georgia. It's the week of the Masters. People come from all over the world to be here this week, so it's a little fun. There's a lot of mystique around the city. I'm out here because I have the chance to meet with probably a top 10 pick and possibly the #1 overall pick in the NFL draft this year, Josh Allen. Not only did he have a phenomenal career at Wyoming and he blossomed into one of the top NFL prospects, but his coaches also had previously coached a guy by the name of Carson Wentz. He's heading into this draft now with a lot of hype, a lot of excitement. Everybody's been telling him how great he is leading up to the draft, and deservedly so, but I'm excited to get to know him and maybe, remind him a little bit of what it's going to take to succeed in the NFL, and so excited to sit down one-on-one with him, pick his brain, learn a little bit about where he's come from, and talk to him a little bit about where he's headed.
Kirk,
Hey, Josh.
how are you doing?
Good, man.
Great to meet you.
Great to meet you. Thanks for letting me come
No
by.
problem. Thanks for coming by.
Here's play action for Josh Allen. Steps up, zips it deep for the touchdown. Jared's got his second touchdown grab of the season. And the Cowboys strike quickly on their second possession.
All right, so we're here in Augusta, one of the greatest places on earth. You and I would both agree. Just tell me a little bit about your day-to-day at the Masters.
One of the greatest moments of my life, coming here and getting to experience what I've done. It's something that not a lot of people get to go through.
Tell you what, there's plenty more where that came from.
I hope so.
So you just get ready and get excited about what's coming down the line. So it's been well documented. You're from a small town, you're from a farming community, arguably had a big impact on your lack of recruitment coming out of high school. But tell me a little bit about the town you grew up in and how it's impacted the person you are right now entering the NFL draft.
Yeah, so it's a small town, about 5,000 to 6,000 people. Goes by the name of Fireball. I grew up on a farm, and the community that we had in Fireball was very family-like. Everybody knew everybody. When you're playing like rec league or little league baseball, you're playing with the same guys that you're going to play in high school.
I like that.
So the camaraderie that you build when you're younger just carries over into your high school years, and it's just kind of a really neat experience that a lot of bigger towns don't get to have.
Sure. So coming out of Fireball, you are about 40 minutes outside Fresno.
Yep.
Fresno State is the team, right?
Yeah.
And that's the team you follow. They had 2 chances to offer you a scholarship and passed both times. Tell me how that happened or why that happened.
That's kind of like the million-dollar question in Fireball and Fresno, but I really don't know. I was a little underdeveloped coming out of high school. I was kind of 6'3", 180 pounds.
Would it be safe to say you were a late bloomer?
I was a late bloomer.
That you kept growing and kept getting bigger and stronger and faster. Post-high school?
Correct.
Okay.
And
sometimes the best athletes, that's the case.
Fortunately, things work out in mysterious ways.
Yeah,
and
certainly.
I was ended up in Wyoming, and that's the place where I needed to be.
Tell me a little bit about your running ability because, when you watch your highlights, that's a big part of your game. It's a dynamic part of your game. The jaw-dropping stuff comes from your athleticism, from your ability to run, carry the football. But yet it also cost you your collarbone one season. So talk about what you're thinking there as you enter the NFL.
I think it's definitely a different mindset that I have now going into the NFL. I knew that this past season especially, having an extra blocker in our running back was going to allow us to be better in the running game.
Yeah.
So I knew that, having that responsibility on me to kind of make plays happen on my feet was something that we were going to have to do to win football games.
Wow.
Going to the NFL now, you're not asking quarterbacks to do that anymore, unless you're a freak like Cam Newton.
You've got that ability, though. What I will say is don't let anybody tell you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And don't let anybody tell you can do it whenever you want.
Yeah.
There's always a balance. I think virtue lies in the middle. I'm a guy who did not run the football well.
You took off a few times last
year. But yet I've been known to run a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think I have, over 10 touchdowns over the last 3 years because it is a weapon, as you said. But by all means, tuck it and run. You see man coverage and it's 2-man and there's nobody covering you,
go
Yeah.
and get as many yards as you can, but do things to protect yourself. But by all means, be the great athlete you are and use that to your advantage. That's a big reason why you would go high in the draft.
Absolutely.
2016, you have a phenomenal year at Wyoming. Could have come out.
Yep.
When you have the arm you have, you probably could have come out at 18 years old and impressed people, but you could have come out last year, chose not to. Tell me about that decision, how hard it was. Once you made it, were you at peace? Was there still a little bit of wavering? Talk about that.
It's kind of a thought that didn't pop into my head, you know, throughout the season. We got to our final game, which was the bowl game against BYU, and there was a few agents calling me and texting me and just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Obviously, I was playing the bowl game first.
Right.
So we played the bowl game, ended on an interception. It was the last throw I threw. You know, a few days later, there's a mock draft that comes out and puts me at like number 3 overall or something like that. And my parents are going crazy, and all of a sudden, more agents are contacting me and talking to me. And you know, it was the most like hectic 2 weeks of my life.
And you're 21 years old, 20 years old?
20 years old at the time.
20 years old.
And at that time, I just couldn't see myself making the leap because I just felt like I needed one more year, and I couldn't, you know, end my career at Wyoming with an interception.
Sure.
So, I mean, that didn't play a lot into it, but
yeah,
that had its part.
There's a level of completion. You know, I respect you for making a tough decision, probably making the tougher decision in terms of I can take an easier path with a little more glory and success right away, or I can take a longer route for a longer term return.
Yeah.
You chose the longer return. I think that says a lot about you as a person. I think that'll serve you well going forward. I mean, you could have been at the Masters last year.
Yeah, I could have been.
You know, so you understand you gave up some things in the short term for a better long-term return on investment, and I think you made a good decision. Time will tell.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to prove to be the right decision. And so many times in my life, big decisions on the football field with where to play in college and where to go in free agency has come down to where do I feel at peace.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, in my gut, where do I feel at peace? And I think if you can continue to use that, it'll serve you well.